All right, we are live on Facebook. My name is Amber Thomas. I am the founder of Award-Winning Agents, and I am joined this morning with Jill Leberknight. She is a realtor with eXp Realty. She comes with 17 years of real estate experience, and as a former teacher, she makes for a great interviewee for this conversations because I find that teachers always really know how to be thorough in their answering and in their explanations. We are going to be talking about the current real estate market in Austin, Texas, what's trending specifically. And before we do a deep dive into some of those questions, I want to timestamp this conversation. Happy Cinco de Mayo, that's May 5th. Yeah, so if you're watching this and it's June or July or past that, just know that I'm timestamping this for a reason. And that's because the Austin real estate market is changing at such a rapid pace that what's true today isn't true tomorrow. And that's a part of the conversation that Jill and I are going to get into here. So happy Cinco de Mayo. Jill, good morning. And let me just start by asking you, is the Austin real estate market as crazy as we all think it is? And I'm asking as someone who does not live in Austin. So what are your thoughts? Help me understand what the current market is like in Austin, Texas.
Well, good morning, Miss Amber. It's always wonderful to just chat and visit with you. I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to breathe so that you can hear my calm voice sharing this information. To answer your question, Amber, yes and no.
Ooh, interesting. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so yes. It's some price points in some neighborhoods and some types of homes, maybe lakefront property. Yes, it's still busy and active because there's a limited supply of homes. But in some areas, at some price points, it is not a crazy market. And this is one of the things that I know you and I were chatting about a little bit before. One of the biggest challenges that I think realtors, professionals in the real estate industry are facing right now is that clients and homeowners and first-time home buyers are living on stories that they heard 2 months ago, or maybe even a month ago.
Well, and in all fairness, a story usually is something that, it happened a while ago. A month or two is usually called news, in terms of like the relative time to that. But for sure, the narrative, again, as someone who doesn't live in Austin, the narrative that I hear is that everything is all cash, hundreds of thousands of dollars over ask, 30 multiple offers, bidding wars. So is that still kind of the climate, or has it shifted a little bit? And if so, in what way?
Great question. It has shifted completely. And it happened when the interest rates moved. Not initially, but once the interest rates crept towards 5%, things took a big pause. And those of us that work in the industry, we are in communication and conversation with our lenders on a regular basis. And I know our Platinum Top 50 Realtor program that I'm a part of, you lead some great conversations with some of our preferred lenders. And usually when the interest rates climb, 12% of buyers hit the sidelines every time the interest rates shift. And it usually takes them about 90 days to reset. By reset, I mean kind of digest the panic and the reality and the frustration.
Yeah, to digest the reality, right? You've got to go back and recalculate things. And, so interest rates, correct me if I'm wrong. I know it was early in this year. From what I've heard from lenders, it came earlier than they expected. And obviously we know that we're expecting more rate increases to go through the year. So I think wasn't that around end of January, 1st of February, if I'm not mistaken, when kind of that first big jump happened?
Yeah, it was sort of the end of January. But the big shift happened in mid-April.
Okay.
And it was rising rapidly. And that's what sort of really led to a lot of people having to, our buyers that we work with, having to reset their budgets. Many buyers were completely outpriced of the market and
Well, and
having to shift.
especially given the high home values in Austin,
Yeah.
the interest rate, the impact of interest rate is even that much greater in terms of 1/4%, 0.5%, and in all fairness, the increasing rates is designed to cool a market off. And given that Austin is the hottest market, it seems like that's working. So what kind of are you, when you're seeing with sellers and buyers, like how is the rate impacting right now? You said you saw a big shift mid-April, which was just a couple of weeks ago. So what has since mid-April to now, what's kind of the current climate looking like compared to, weeks prior?
It's taking, okay, well, let's talk on the sell side first. Okay. For sellers, it's taking more time to get that first offer. Okay. The routine that we've been living in for quite some time in the Austin area is launch on Thursday, announce multiple offer deadline by Saturday. Monday, we have the multiple offer highest and best deadline. And by Monday night or Monday afternoon, you have 8 to 30 offers. Now we're getting through an entire weekend, no offers, and we're going through the following week and maybe an offer or two emerges. And that is a big shift. We've been in such a routine with our sellers. As someone that works with a lot of sellers and lists homes, we often say, hey, go stay in an Airbnb for your first weekend so we can get all the crowds into your home and you don't have to keep, leaving the house every hour. You can take the dog and the kids and go away. Well, we used to be able to do that. And they're away for 4 days. And by Monday afternoon, we got the home under contract and they can come back and settle into their home. Well, now sellers are having to adjust to, I'm setting expectations with my sellers now, 10 to 14 days to get an offer. And that,
I have to kid. No, I know.
Right?
That still is such an indication of demand, right? And we know that that's not like changing, but I can see how, that's the reality though, right? It's like a 2-week window. But if someone's expecting it to happen over a weekend, that's not the reality. So, still just such an indicator of how hot and desirable and how much demand there is in Austin. And, there's really no change in that demand, but there is a change in purchase power is kind of,
yes.
I think, what you're saying.
And to talk that through, the trickle down effect of just that time to get an offer, if they don't have an offer by 10 days, they're already panicking and asking me, should we lower price? What's wrong? What should we rephotograph? They're asking me, what do we need to do, when I'm trying to tell them we just need to wait. It's taking buyers more time to re-strategize their budget. And I'm encouraging and counseling them to stay put. We're okay on price. But they're making decisions to lower or to come down because their expectation was 4 or 5 days to multiple offer. And the adjustment and the routine that we've also had is lowering price so that we could get the multiple offer play. And you can see how that starts messing with the game plan and the strategy of the real number that we were trying to reach. And we came in and we didn't have an offer. And what do we do now? So that one shift of longer days to offer has sent out a ripple effect in terms of price reductions and, strategies for pricing homes. And then buyers are still making rush decisions. Let's talk on the buy side. They're still making some rush decisions, but some of them are getting under contract with an understanding of what their monthly mortgage might be. And then the interest rates rise. And when they go through the formal underwriting process, their lender is telling them, oh, this is what your rate is now. And you can't afford this house. So we're seeing terminations. We're seeing a higher number of terminations just because of lending.
That makes total sense.
Yeah.
I mean, that, especially when you're talking about homes where I think you told me the median home price right now is 500,000.
Well, we're over in the MSA in Austin. Our MSA, sort of our greater Austin area, is at 551, I think, or mid 500s. But in the city of Austin, we're over 600. I think
Wow.
624. So like we're pushing people out of ranges, and so when sellers are now facing the reality of going back on the market. And what do we do now? Interest rates are higher, and they're having to adjust to a scenario that they have, a position that they haven't been in years.
So is this one where, longer days on the market, is it pushing prices down, or is it like prices can hold, you just need to wait a little bit longer?
I wish it, honestly, I wish it was that simple.
Okay. Yeah.
And the reality is that it's pushing realtors to reprice and re-strategize how they price, because the market's been moving an exceptionally accelerated freight train pace. And so we've been adjusting to trends in a 5-day period. I mean, right now, through the past 2 years, realtors have literally been every Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, resetting expectations from the stories that they've heard from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then readjusting. And we've been seeing trends change that quickly in a week's time. And so for a while, we were having to price really low because buyers were trained to multiple offer $60,000 to $80,000 over ask price to win offers. We as agents represent the client. We have a fiduciary to the client. We can't tell buyers, hey, we don't have multiple offers. You don't need to offer $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 over ask price. But they were trained to do that. Even against the counsel sometimes of their agents, they wouldn't even come and make an offer on a house.
Because there is it sounded like and felt like it was a feeding frenzy up there. And so, just that kind of accelerated like decision making, accelerated pace of things, I think it just puts people into like go, go, go. And, this idea that now it's slowing, it's a little bit more methodical, a little bit more of like the re-strategizing. What I'm hearing you say too, as a non-real estate agent, is just how much advice and counsel you do provide. And, I know within the network of award-winning agents, one of the great benefits is this peer-to-peer, agent-to-agent relationship that doesn't show up in reports, that doesn't show up in the news. It literally is the most like organic, boots on the ground, real time. What are you seeing here? And that collaboration among agents for that open communication then allows you to go on and offer the advice and counsel that otherwise would go against what someone would think or hear. And so that's like a lot of what I'm taking out of this conversation. And I can't imagine with, trends are supposed to be big and long, and y'all are just seeing this trends within a month and having to go readjust. Again, from my standpoint, even further articulating the value of what real estate, relationships in real estate and why they matter. Agent to agent and also agent to partner with your lenders, right? I mean, that collaboration is absolutely essential. So let me ask this, kind of to close out, and that's been super insightful. And again, I love that we timestamped this Cinco de Mayo. It would be hilarious to go back in 2 weeks' time and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was saying that then. But
totally different story.
That's the point of what we're saying right now, is that it's changing so fast that, you can't really say what was yesterday's news is true for today. And so, that's why you work with a real estate agent to help guide you with the most current information, again, sourced from outside sources. So I love that. So as a real estate agent with 17 years experience in Austin, I'm going to leave this kind of open-ended. Do you have any advice, insights, counsel? What would you leave our consumer audience with in terms of some like parting words for where we're at given this very moment in time in the Austin real estate market?
Absolutely. Okay. I'm going to share with you the conversations that I'm having with my clients. With the sellers, I'm telling them we can't price today where we priced in March, in early spring. The market is shift. Interest rates are making adjustments in the market. So I'm trying to help them to have the current data. I'm also telling them if we can avoid listing in the middle of the summer for Austin, after Memorial Day, if you can avoid that, avoid that.
And why? Why?
There is a high percentage, like the inventory has increased. Okay. We have all throughout Texas, our appraisal districts have delivered notices. So we're seeing a lot of people digest the reality that it's possible that the Austin area, the Central Texas area is not affordable anymore. And they're taking the steps to leave and relocate somewhere else. So we're seeing not only a lot of residential properties list and move on to other places, but we're seeing investors unload because they're going to face having to raise rentals.
And that's because, again, Texas, the way that our like taxes and property taxes, are, which isn't the same way in every state across the country. So what you're saying is that because home values have risen so much and property taxes are a correlated interest rate, that the impact of, I think it was like a 50%, increase in home values has a truly deep pocket impact on so many people.
Absolutely.
That it changes like migration kind of patterns.
It's been dramatic. So on the sell side, it's really, really important. We have seen very, very specific seasonal best times to list. So make sure you're in communication with your realtor on the best time to list. We're not right now, currently, today, time-stamped, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. We're seeing homes sit on the market because we're still in that 90-day reset of buyers digesting higher interest rates. Now, to switch, my advice on the buy side is if you've been thinking about purchasing and if you've been planning about it before interest rates go over 6%, it's very possible by the end of the year, we will be back to pre-mortgage meltdown interest rates, which will be a first for a while. This would be a great time to buy because inventory is higher. We're seeing longer days on the market, more homes, less multiple offers, and you still can possibly get opportunities to not have to fight out a lot of people, get a little bit of a lower interest rate. And some of the terms, this is really the big thing for buyers that I want them to know. We're seeing terms shift in our offers, like maybe you don't have to deliver a full appraisal waiver. Maybe you can ask for more repair requests. Maybe you can ask for a longer close date. We're seeing more advantages for buyers in the negotiation process. Okay. Now, the final advice that I will give is as we're all working to find normal as we walk out of this pandemic era, people are redefining how they nest, how they create their life story. And people are reimagining that. Maybe they virtual work now and they don't have to live close to the office. Maybe their parent has to come and live with them, or they're choosing for their kids after college to come back and live with them and have more extended living environment. Make the plans now. Take time to think through with advice of an experienced realtor, a local realtor, not somebody outside of the area, outside of the state. Use trusted local information and have the conversations now to arm yourself with information, facts, and knowledge so that you can plan. I really feel like everyone should have, a financial planner, a health advisor, primary care physician, and a realtor that's going to, on a regular basis, provide you with, annual counsel on what's going on with your home value and how you should utilize your real estate investment. Things are changing too quickly. The market and the real estate shifts are happening so quickly, and they're so compressed that you really need to have the most up-to-date data. So what I'm doing right now is I'm having a lot of just counsel visits with clients to help them plan for the next 5 years. I'm having weekly conversations with people. Okay, I've identified that I want to leave Texas in 3 years. What do I need to do over the next 3 years? I'm telling my sellers, stay on top of maintenance, roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical, HVAC. These are the repair things that you should attend to. These are the things that you need to put in place so that you can be flexible and ready to sell if there is a prime opportunity for you to do so. So that's my 3 tips for the day.
No,
but I'm sure it sounded like 10.
No, that was wonderful. And keep in mind, as your fellow Texan and someone that's just 60 miles down south in San Antonio, I know that there's been a lot of conversation with Austin agents and their Austin homeowners about other options, because right now there is so much equity in the homes. And so, there's just, it's a continuation of a chess game that's never quite done. But
that's a great analogy.
You gave so much insight though on the impact, the trickle down of just what like the one interest rate hike has been, and it's like actual impact on the Austin local real estate market. And like we've said many times, you preface all of your advice with maybe, because there's no way to give any indefinites. But right now, Cinco de Mayo 2020, this is what it's like in the Austin real estate market. So Jill, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insights. Thank you for sharing with our audience here at Award Winning Agents. I really appreciate everything that you had to contribute to this conversation, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks, Amber. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.